There are good people in the world, and those who are not so good. There are also people who are shameless in their wickedness. Wee Little Havroshechka had the bad luck to fall in with such as these. She was an orphan, and these people took her in and brought her up, only to make her work till she couldn't stand. Now the mistress of the house had 3 daughters. The eldest was called One Eye, the second 2 Eyes, and the youngest 3 Eyes. The 3 sisters did nothing all day but sit by the gate and watch what went on in the street. Sometimes Wee Little Havroshechka would go out into the field, put her arms round the neck of her brindle cow, and pour out all her sorrows to her. "Brindle, my dear," she would say, "they beat me and scold me. They don't give me enough to eat, and yet they forbid me to cry. I'm to have 5 poods of flax, spun, woven, bleached, and rolled by tomorrow." And the cow would say in reply, "My bonny lass, you have only to climb into one of my ears and come out of the other, and your work will be done for you." And just as Brindle said, so it was. Wee Little Havroshechka would climb into one of the cow's ears and come out through the other. And lo and behold, there lay the cloth, all woven and bleached and rolled. One day, the old woman called her daughter One Eye to her and said, "My good child, my bonny child, go and see who helps the orphan with her work." One Eye went with Wee Little Havroshechka into the woods, but she forgot her mother's command, and she lay down on the grass and basked in the sun. And Wee Little Havroshechka murmured, "Sleep, little eye, sleep." One Eye shut her eye and fell asleep. While she slept, Brindle wove, bleached, and rolled the cloth. The mistress learned nothing, so she sent for 2 Eyes, her second daughter. 2 Eyes went with Wee Little Havroshechka, but she forgot her mother's command, and she lay down on the grass and basked in the sun. And Wee Little Havroshechka murmured, "Sleep, little eye, sleep the other little eye." 2 Eyes shut her eyes and dozed off. While she slept, Brindle wove, bleached, and rolled the cloth. The old woman was very angry, and on the 3rd day she told 3 Eyes, her 3rd daughter, to go with Wee Little Havroshechka. 3 Eyes played and skipped about in the sun until she was so tired that she lay down on the grass, and Wee Little Havroshechka sang out, "Sleep, little eye, sleep the other little eye." 2 of 3 Eyes fell asleep, but the 3rd looked on and saw everything. 3 Eyes came home, and she told her mother what she had seen. The old woman was overjoyed, and on the very next day she went to her husband and said, "Go and kill the brindled cow." The old man was astonished and tried to reason with her. "Have you lost your wits?" he said. "Kill it and say no more," the wife insisted. Wee Little Havroshechka found out about it, and she ran to the field and threw her arms round Brindle. "Brindle, my dear," she said, "they want to kill you." And the cow replied, "Do not grieve, my bonny lass, and do what I tell you. Take my bones, bury them in the garden, and water them every day." The old man killed the cow, and Wee Little Havroshechka did as Brindle had told her to. After a while, an apple tree grew out of the bones, and a wonderful tree it was. Its apples were round and juicy, and swaying boughs were of silver, and its rustling leaves were of gold. Whoever drove by would stop to look, and whoever came near marveled. A long time passed by, and a little time, and one day, one eye, two eyes, and three eyes were out walking in the garden. And who should chance to be riding by at the time but a young man, handsome and curly-haired and strong and rich. When he saw the juicy apples, he stopped and said to the girls teasingly,
"Fair maidens, her will I marry amongst you three, who brings me an apple from yonder tree."
The sisters rushed off to the apple tree, but the apples, which had been hanging very low and seemed within easy reach, now swung up high in the air above the sisters' heads. They tried to pluck the apples, but they couldn't reach the apples and only scratched their hands. Then Wee Little Havroshechka walked up to the tree, and at once the boughs bent down and the apples came into her hands. She gave an apple to the handsome young stranger, and they were married soon.